You have work in 20? Shut up. Sorry I'm busy during the week. This is a dead channel anyway. We're just kind of riding. We're just riding along. Bolton's got to leave soon. Oh wait, Sri's a mod now. There you go. Okay. You said hi. Howdy. Oh wait. Said hi. Said hi, brother. Crazy times we live in. When is the Donald Trump show, aka the Pope's funeral?
We have breaking news. President Trump just spoke at the White House ahead of his trip to Italy for the Pope's funeral. Let's talk to Rachel Scott a little bit about what the president just said. Rachel?
Yeah, Diane, I asked the president about these ongoing trade negotiations, and here's the president now. You could see him walking out. He's going to take some questions from reporters, including me, on these ongoing trade negotiations with China. Let's take a listen.
You have spoken to President Xi. When did that happen? China says it hasn't happened.
I spoke to him numerous times. So we're leaving and going to Rome, where we'll be attending the funeral of Pope Francis. Some of you are going to go. Anybody going? And it's going to be very interesting. We're going to meet with a lot of the foreign leaders. They want to meet. Trade deals are going very well. I think Russia and Ukraine, I think they're coming along, we hope. Very fragile. And Iran, I think, is going very well. We'll see what happens. We're working on...
Yes, Donald Trump finally criticized Putin when he said, Putin, Vladimir, stop. Vladimir, stop. Vladimir, stop. Vladimir, stop. Please, Vladimir, please, Vladimir, everything we had together. Vladimir, stop it, meanie. Trump's like, Ukraine should have Ukraine should have never invaded Russia. His fault. Oh. Attorney General Pam Bondi has revoked former Attorney General Merrick Garland's policy designed to shield the news media from secret government requests for phone, email, and other records. Safeguarding classified privilege and other sensitive information is essential to effective governance and law enforcement. Federal government employees intentionally leaking sensitive information to the media undermines the ability of the DOJ to uphold the rule of law, protect civil rights, and keep America safe. I have concluded it is necessary to rescind Merrick Garland's policies precluding the Department of Justice from seeking records and compelling... Oh, God. So, like, everything Republicans and these conspiracy people claim to hate, they're completely okay with it if their guy's in charge. It's actually crazy. So now they can detain journalists. Okay. That's what we need.
Hello.
Howdy, what's up?
Not much. Doing pretty good.
Good to hear.
How's it going?
It's going. You know, it's going, as they say.
Yeah, no, a lot going on out there.
Yeah, I guess so. What do you want to chat about?
One thing that is really sticking out to me is the federal government's, I don't know the best way to, or no, not the federal government, the judiciary's vulnerability, I think, right now.
Well, I mean, right now the vulnerability of anything is 100% raw power and influence. So I don't think anything's safe right now. Only, and as far as the American people are going to stand up to defend it, right?
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing about the judiciary is like it's only, I know the entire three-party system only has power because the collective masses say so, but I feel like it's even more true for the judiciary. Like their power is really only because the other two says that they have power. It feels like.
Well, the legislative branch already collapsed completely, and the executive did as
Yeah.
well. So the judiciary is the only one standing. So that makes it difficult, right?
Well, they're standing, but my main issue is that, I mean, if Trump can go around and arrest judges and judge shop for his and to try and cherry pick his cases, then even like the tenuous, protections the judiciary grant us, even they're pretty limited, really.
Yeah.
Like,
there's not much
good
we could
example
really
being,
do.
I mean, I feel like there is. It's just getting enough people to like move in the same direction.
Right now, the biggest issue with the judiciary is the fact that it's not public facing, which is probably the reason it's holding on to. But we need. I think the Supreme Court taking that emergency ruling at like Saturday night at like 1 a.m. was a big deal to prevent people from being deported, because the judiciary naturally moves so slow. They need to be able to ramp it up a little bit to confront what's happening here. And I feel like the urgency level is definitely peaking, which is a good thing. That's a positive. So I'm happy to see quicker turnarounds and also a higher level of commitment to making sure cases are dealt with. According to the schedule, canceling trips and canceling off days and doing everything they need to. But yeah, we need the media machine to follow any rulings and everything like that to make sure the judiciary can maintain power.
Yeah, and I want me personally, I'd like to see more like a buttressing of the judiciary's power and responsibilities, because, like you said, the legislation is pretty much gone. It's over for them, at least. It's
How
so
do you make it
fractured and
stronger
divided.
how do you make it stronger with no legislative?
Well, that's the thing, right? Is by putting more people into the judiciary that are stand up for the law types. We don't bow to favors or friendships or threatening actions. We just do our job in the fairest way possible.
Well, like I
And there are
understand
plenty
that, but
of.
we already have that. Like right now, we have very few judges.
Well, no, we don't.
In any, we like objectively we do. Even the most corrupt Supreme Court justices are having to go against Trump on these cases because they're so blatant. Even the ones that are taking trillions of dollars from Russian billionaires are siding in the right direction for a lot of these cases.
For some of them, like yes, Alito and Clarence and the others, like yes, they've had like a couple like moments of like, wow, this is the red line. Like they've had a couple moments like that, but they've made it very clear that even while Trump is doing all this, breaking all these red line things, all these red line type issues, they've made it clear that they're still willing to, go to bat for him as often and as, heavily as necessary. And that's kind of like my main primary issue with the judiciary, is that it was supposed to be nonpartisan, completely on its own, separate, like you said, facing away from the public. It's supposed to be impartial, but all throughout the court system, from bottom to top, there is a very clear sign that more and more judges are, if not outright giving in to what Trump wants, they're admitting they're openly scared that they're going to be targeted.
Well, there's no conversation at all about any institutional reinforcements at all. The only conversation now is massive media propaganda pushes, or anti-propaganda more so, and getting people ready to go and protest. That's the only thing, and overwhelming public opinion. Trump would need to go into the mid to low 30s to have an impact here. And he's at 42, 44, 40. He needs to go down at least 5 or 10 more points before we see any more push or pullback. But you have these extremely rabid fascists, direct fascists, which are people. These are people who would have been Hitler's top people. Stephen Miller, Tom Homan. They're categorically neo-Nazis.
Bannon.
And Bannon. Bannon's a lot smarter than they are. But yeah, Stephen Miller and Tom Homan are foaming at the mouth. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, no, that. And then what's that new guy they just put into the press pool who got duped by the Russians?
Which one?
Oh,
yeah, Tim
no,
Pool? Tim Pool.
Tim Pool. That guy.
He's a shithead.
This is the issue, right? It's like, how do you break through the noise when they have perfected, it seems, the propaganda mechanism?
Well, we killed our cybersecurity. We removed any bars from foreign gifts, right? We made it more legal, and now the money's flowing more than ever before. Tucker Carlson's paid by Russian state media. So many conservatives think Ukraine is selling weapons to Mexico as if they have time or a need to do that. The only thing Ukraine needs is weapons. The idea that they're doing that is spread right from the Kremlin, from Tucker Carlson, to Tim Pool, and then to millions of followers, and then it goes into Joe Rogan, then it goes to all these different networks, and it's obscene, it's pure propaganda, more aggressive than we've ever seen. And I'm actually surprised people are holding on more than I expect. I'm happy the big tech companies aren't completely gone, but we have to be ready for the possibility where if you use a AI bot from China, you cannot ask a question about Tiananmen Square. You cannot ask a question about the Chinese government. And it's scary to think that a big tech guy like Musk or Altman or any of them can just turn that button on their AI, and then if you say, who won the 2020 election, and the AI tells you that Trump won, and distorts history, we are at a point, and they're signing contracts with Peter Thiel's company with all this surveillance state material. With AI and hacking into computer systems throughout the United States. If we have a massive, powerful dictatorship at this scale with the new technology, in 10 to 20 to 30 years, we need to perfect this human project, because revolution or flipping authoritarian regimes to become more democratic is going to become virtually impossible, just like it is in China. And they're trying to do that here, which is extremely scary that we're falling into it directly.
Yeah, and it's the speed. It's the speed that really kills me. I remember before Trump was elected, reading a lot about 2020, Project 2025, and there was this clip I was watching where Bannon was saying, we need to be like a machine gun, rapid fire. Like, we need to be hitting them one thing after another, because the Dems will just stop and focus on a couple of things, and while they're bitching and moaning, we'll, push through all the shit we want to do. And it's looking like that is the textbook playbook of what they're running by. And it is so fast. So much damage has already been done, and it's a couple of months.
Oh, and someone in chat said, where is the debate? Well, maybe if you guys weren't such a little pathetic baby, brain dead assholes, you would actually call in and try to defend yourself, but you have you have nothing to stand on, so you can't. Also, the new technology the DOJ is using, which, by the way, the DOJ has an internal policy where they can go and break into anyone's home if they suspect there's an MS-13 gang member in there, or if they suspect an illegal aliens inside. They've been shutting off internet connections. So, people that are about to be detained by an unmarked van with all these federal agents, they'll notice their internet connection shuts off and they can't access any cellular connection, so they can't live stream it. So they can't upload videos or pictures of what's happening. So they can't document and send it out to the world if they're being detained by ICE or another federal agency that has full masking on. And that's another scary thing. Imagine being in your house and the government just shuts off your internet, has some type of signal blocker for all of your devices, and comes and detains you into an unmarked van. Every book, 1984, Fahrenheit, every book, every way to theorize about authoritarian regimes, that is happening right now. The AI, they want to replace teachers with artificial intelligence. They want to replace security with robot cops. And New York is doing that. China already has that fully integrated. All the shit they warned about. They were so scared about the chips and the vaccines, and now they're okay with the conspiracy if they think they're on top of it, if they think the conspiracy is in their favor, which is freaking disgusting.
And as more and more sentiment is flipping, it's easier to see that like most people are not okay with this. Like deep down, there's a deep resentment for the kind of actions that are being taken here. Like you look at the Maryland, what was it, Maryland man? The man who was accused of being MS-13 with absolutely no proof, nothing to show for it. They made claims that there were court accusations that he was abusing his girlfriend. That was patently not true. She filed a restraining order and then retracted it and got back with him, and they were both very happy at the time of his abduction. So, and it's happening more and more. More and more you're hearing about people
matters.
Being stolen off in the middle of the night.
And people like, I mean, I grew up in a white community, 99% white, and I knew accused wife beaters I knew hundreds, because when you're in a poor area, you go through shit growing up, you're going to have messed up qualities and you're going to do bad things. He escaped again, and I can't talk about this because they're going to be like, oh, it's never okay to do domestic abuse, and I agree, obviously. But there is some leeway to be given when you escape gang violence from El Salvador at 16 and work your ass off for 13 years. You're going to do some shit. You're probably going to do something illegal. But regardless, you deserve a day in court to not be sent to a life in prison El Salvador CCOT camp or whatever. I know people that are pampered and they have multiple sexual assaults or whatever, and they're in jail or whatever. Like I knew people like this. So like I think Americans know that. They know there should be some type of standard for the government, and intuitively, due process is a limit on the government. It's a limit on government aggression and government violence and government authoritarianism. And anyone that wants to get rid of due process wants to make the government more powerful in the worst ways. I'm going to try to answer this call from this. Hopefully this guy disagrees. I don't know. People don't want to call in tonight. They stopped wanting to call in once they realized how bad it was, and they couldn't defend it anymore. I appreciate the call. Do you want to add something at the end before you go?
Yes, please. Just one last thing. I want to give a little bit of description. I'm from Austin, Texas. I've lived in Texas the vast majority of my life. In all parts of Texas, I've seen like the reddest people here in Austin, and then the bluest like Yanks out in the sticks. Like I just want people to know that like don't hold your worldview as the most concrete thing. Like whatever you think is like for sure happening in the world. Like if you are absolutely earth-shatteringly certain that everyone believes the same way you do, you have somehow come to the wrong conclusion. There are a grand multitude of people out there with views that are maybe similar to yours, but are different in some form or function. And it's important not to just group everyone together on stereotype. I know that sounds generic, but it really does hurt you to just box everyone together. Really go out and try to meet new people.
Yeah, I agree. And we need to do our best to reach out to anyone that's not in the cult and they don't treat it like a religion, because those people cannot be told no. They believe things that will not believe it because they're used to not ever justifying anything. Anything to do.
There are plenty of the Trumpers who have so totally drank the Kool-Aid, they are in need of psychiatric help, like serious, like therapy.
Yeah, it is literally a cult. If Trump said to sacrifice themselves for the regime, they would do it. Like they would drink the Kool-Aid, unironically. But this is how it happens. Yeah, I appreciate the call.
You're
Hopefully
right.
one of these
there
guys
are
calls
people.
in. It's crazy.
Yeah. I do agree. There are people, though, on the fringes, plenty of them, who are not like that. They are,
Yeah, definitely.
normal people who just fell in with the wrong crowd, and give them the right information and they'll come around.
Yeah, treat them like they're victims, because they are victims. They're victims to lying
Exactly.
and gaslighting and
It's
everything.
a grift. It's all a grift.
Being
The
scammed.
entire right is a grift. It's a scam. So, like, the more people you can talk to about it, the more lives you're saving. And I think that's really important.
All right, yeah, thank you
I'll
for
get
the call.
off of
Hopefully
here,
this guy
man.
calls in. Thank you for
Yeah.
calling. Are you new to this, watching this, or have you been?
I've been on the stream before. I
yeah.
asked to call in a while back, but this is when you were like, it was crazy busy, and I was like, I don't want to. But I just was watching, and I saw, oh, there's not too many callers. I'll give them a ring.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good rest of the night, man. I'll be
All right,
watching.
Thank you, you too. Thank you for watching. Person that called in before, you can call in again, or anyone, or join Discord, something. I need someone to talk to. Come on. What's going on? I need someone to talk to. No one wants to talk today. Everybody talks. Why are 37 people watching the horizontal stream? What's going on there? Yikes, man. Why are there 37 people on the horizontal? Go to the vertical for a second. 200 people on the vertical. Bro, call in, drop a like. Call in, drop a like. There you go. There's a guy. Howdy.
What's up, faggot?
Hi, honey.
What's up, faggot?
Hi, honey. Have a good day at work.
What's up, faggot?
Wow, that guy was excited. Everybody talks. All right. Who's going to call in? That is what Trump supporters hear all day, because they hear their true selves calling them. So they have to repeat it out loud. That's why whenever, like, you ever notice the Republicans always think about gay sex? Like, every conversation goes back to gay sex for them. Every conversation goes back to gay sex. You can talk about any political topic. Any political topic, you can talk about it with a Trumper. A true hardcore MAGA Trumper. And I guarantee you, if you talk more than 5 minutes, the conversation will get back to men genitalia, to male genitalia. I guarantee you. It's a proven scientific fact at this point. Guarantee it. MAGA intellectual. Philosopher king. Philosopher king. The truest of the philosophers. You are gay? Yes. So what if I'm gay? I'm happy. For real. Yeah, drop a like, guys. We have 20 likes on the stream. We need 30 likes to get some calls, hopefully. They're too scared to call in, though. That was an issue with my channel. My channel also is getting shadow banned. Like, unironically. I put up a video earlier today, and it has literally 20 views. And I have 25,000 subscribers. My last 3 videos have 90 views, 80 views, and 20 views. And my stream count went down like 1/3 too. And it dropped off at a specific time. Like a specific, like it was really good for a little bit, then it just dropped down completely. Just the algorithm and who I get recommended to. I could just go copy some keywords on a stream and just like repost it, and hopefully I get found out. Here, let's ask AI. I'm gonna put in my title, my channel, and I'm gonna put in a bunch of words. Okay, I'm gonna say, give me keywords to get viral on YouTube Shorts. Okay, make me the perfect, most optimized. Okay, YouTube Shorts title for viewership and virality. Okay, I'm asking ChatGPT. I take live calls to debate. Okay, ChatGPT. To debate Trumpers. To debate Trump voters. And I need a title and fire description. Okay. Here is what I have now. Debate Andrew Wilson? No, I'm not talking to no. Andrew Wilson represents probably 1% of society, and his 1% of society should not exist. Here, fire description. Here is what I have now. Nice. Andrew Wilson's ideology leads to world wars and dictatorships. every time his ideology gets popular, we have a dictatorship. Like every time, not like every single time. Every time. Oh, someone called. Very nice. Andrew Wilson's a communist. Like, communist.
Subscriber at
720. I just called you. 720. Call back 720. 720. You just called me. Why did you leave? Nice. Diversity is awesome, bro. If you don't like diversity, you're cringe. You are unironically cringe. Diversity is the best, dude. You ever go to England and eat their food? I haven't, but I think it's bad because I said so. I don't know why I brought up England, but you know. Who's calling into the show, bro? I don't have any callers. All right, call in. Shapiro would make him cry. Yes, dude. Shapiro would make me cry as he talks about how many pronouns are there on college campuses? How many pronouns?
call from
Howdy.
Howdy?
Yeah, I said howdy.
Hello?
Hi, this
Howdy.
is the politics.
Why are you a Jew hater? Why are you a kike hater, man?
God bless America, land that
God bless
I love.
America.
Stand
not like you're
beside
pretty proud
her
American.
and
Look at
got
you look,
her
man.
from
Looking
the
at you on
night.
camera right now. You're very scared.
You think I look good, honey?
No, I think you look a faggot.
Ah, you think I look good? I told you can't talk to a conservative without them thinking about like
I think you look like a fag. I'm
homoerotic
not
thoughts, brother.
conservative. I'm not any of that shit, man.
Yeah, you're just like you can't really.
I support
consent to
the
being ideology, bro.
CIA. I support the CIA and the deep state.
Ooh, so you're an incel. Gang, brother.
No, I'm not the one streaming on the internet to fucking like 12 people.
Yeah, you're the one calling in. 250 people.
I'm the one
not
calling
12.
in to fuck with you.
Yeah, brother. Thank you.
Well, fuck you, man. You fucking retard rapist.
Bro, you getting mad right now, brother. You gotta get some girls, brother. You gotta see
funny,
you gotta
man.
see
You
a
look
woman
like-
in
you
real
look like
life,
a
bro.
pedophile. Look
You
at
probably
you,
think
look at
you
you,
probably
boy. You
think
look like a
that hair on
pedophile. You
women
look
is
like
a
an
you
easy-
probably
you
think
look like
hair
an
on
easy
women's
lick.
not a good thing. You think that women shouldn't have any hair at all.
I would say you in. I want to make an easy lick.
You probably don't know what women even look like, bro. What is a
What
woman?
house
What
you
is a
in?
woman? Tell me what a
Let me
woman
know
is.
your
What is a
fucking
woman?
house. I want to
Yo,
rob you. Let me just,
what is a woman?
Let me know your
What is a
fucking
woman?
address.
Bro,
Tell me your
that's
address
a
right
weird
now.
that's a really
Tell me your
weird
fucking address
fantasy.
right now. I want to rob your ass. I want to break into
Oh,
your house.
yeah.
All your shit.
Dude,
I'm gonna get
you
it
are
done,
way
man.
too you are
Yo, when
so
much of
sexy.
niggas running with
You're too
shite,
sexy to
we're
do
gonna
that.
rob your
Keep
ass,
going.
guy.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
no,
Keep going.
fam.
Oh yeah, keep going. Keep going. Keep going, daddy.
Why are you jacking off? Are you? Whoa,
Keep
I'm like,
going.
you know, I'm 15 years old, right?
Oh, that's why you sound so
Why are you
stupid, bro.
sexualizing a 15-year-old? You fucking pedophile. What the fuck you doing?
You watch Aiden Ross?
No, I'm not a fucking faggot retard.
Okay. What do you think
so
about
again, you're trying to dig deeper because you're a pedophile.
do you think that do you think that Elmo?
You like Aiden Ross? You like stuff like
What
that?
what
You like
kid shows did you
lollipops
watch
and
growing up?
candy? They're
Did you
gonna
watch
ask me next.
SpongeBob? No, like what kid show do you watch growing up? Like SpongeBob or like Courage the Cowardly Dog or what kind of TV shows you're watching?
What?
What kind of TV shows did you watch growing up?
For? What you trying to get my interest? You're talking to you're talking to a minor, right? Why are you talking like this?
You play Minecraft?
No. Do I look like a fucking pedophile like you?
Give me a second eye. I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the bathroom, getting higher than the Empire State. My lover, she's been waiting for me just across the bar. He's been taken by some sunglasses, asking about a scar.
That's
And
pretty gay
I
song.
know I
World War
gave that
III
to
by
you
Kanye
months
West
ago.
is better. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
Oh no, Trump is bad. Oh no. Oh
When
no.
you I want you to call back in like 4 years when you meet a woman and when you grow
I'll
up a
call
little
back
bit.
right
It actually
now. I'll
will
call
be
back whenever
good.
the fuck I want. You got the same number. I can keep calling back as much as I want.
Okay, hope you have a good night, sweetheart. Give me a second eye. I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the bathroom getting gayer than the Empire. Gay my. Who's this guy? Oh. Taken by some sunglasses, asking about his girlfriend. I know I gave it to you months ago. I know you're hard to get it back. Also, my apologies. And so if by the time that guy's calling me back, he keeps on calling me. He keeps on calling me back. Leave me alone. Caller is a creep. Give me a second eye. I need to get my story straight. But we're not gonna get any calls. We gotta cut it off, man. We have no callers. Lover's even waiting for me just across the bar. Caller is an incel? No, it's okay. I sympathize with young children who don't have like father figures. I really do. I understand it. We gotta give them away, brothers in Christ. Give me a second eye. I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the bathroom getting... Call in, brother. Call in. Someone call in. Y'all are too scared to have real conversations because you know you can't say anything about anything, brother. What's going on out here? What's going on out here? His palms are sweaty. Hello.
Hello.
What's up? Okay. Really killing it. Really killing the no callers, brother. Gotta get on TikTok or something. Get some TikTok calls. Subscribers mode only. Story straight. My friends are in the bathroom. Getting higher than the Empire. Gay. My lover's even waiting for me. Low resolution caller. Smartest caller from Florida. That is true. It is the smartest caller from Florida. Ah, man. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Howdy.
What's up, brother?
Nothing much. How about you?
Oh, hell, man. Can't call it.
True, what's up? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. What do you want to chat about?
I don't know. You got an echo on your phone. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I don't know. Is there an echo for you?
Yo.
Yo. Might have to cut off the stream, guys. It's not looking good tonight. Not gonna lie. Not looking good tonight. Give me a second eye.
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Nothing much. How are you?
Shit.
Yeah?
I went to see a Mark Chestnut concert tonight. Oh, that shit was lame as a fuck.
Damn.
That's a serious delay. This is very strange.
Is my thing not working? Is my thing not working? Is my audio messed up or anything? They keep on saying they can't hear me. Is my thing not working? Is my audio messed up or anything? It looks fine on there. Is it not working on the screen at all? Or on the stream? Stream is okay. Hello.
Hi. Okay, so can you clarify? I haven't really interacted with your channel before. Can you clarify like your political beliefs for me right now?
Yeah, I'm a uh uh I'm like a you know, like a Teddy Roosevelt Republican progressive.
Okay. Yeah. So what's your main issues with Trump? Because I'm pro-Trump myself.
So he is using the presidency to profit more than any politician in American history. He's making corruption more legal. He is siding with Russia over Europe and Ukraine. He's deporting people unlawfully and sending people to foreign prison camps unlawfully. They're detaining researchers and really valuable immigrants who have done nothing but give an opinion that's anti-Israel. The tariffs are really stupid too, and he sounds like a drooling toddler talking about them. So he gives exemptions to big tech companies, but he gives no exemptions to small businesses, and he doesn't care about small business. He only gives exemptions to people that gave him millions of dollars. So those are some places to start.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wrote notes for different things, and I'm not really prepared. So I'm sorry. I'm a little silly here, I feel.
What thing do you want to
Sorry
talk
about
about?
that.
You could pick a different thing if you want.
Okay, yeah. So my main things was I know a lot of people have. So the main things I wrote notes about were sexual misconduct accusations, January 6th, that sort of thing.
Well, like the 2020 election was completely. There's zero proof of any fraud. January 6th was caused by Trump, and my main evidence for that now is the fact he pardoned all the January 6 people, even the extremely violent ones that really beat the shit out of cops, resulted in a few deaths, injuries like eyes being lost and fingers being lost, and Trump calling the cops the enemy that day, and people like Ashley Babbitt were the freedom fighters and were on his team. So, but yeah, January 6th, really bad, and also the election was not stolen.
Well, I actually don't think the election was stolen either.
Okay. Respect.
Yeah. I'm a little less on the side of like redneck Confederate flag outside my house, Trump, that sort of thing, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
I still do think though that he was asking them to be peaceful. I do get what you're trying to say with the Trump pardoning January 6th, but you know the audience that supports Trump a lot. They do believe that the election was stolen and also that January 6th was not in the wrong. So
here's my big question then. So like if you don't think he meant to do it, my argument would be, for example, he got sued over 4,000 times as a private business person before being a politician. He knows what he needs to say to be absolved of different things. He often will say like, oh, I did this, but I didn't do it. He'll do a lot of double talk to make sure he's on both sides of every issue. So when he says go peacefully, it's after saying like Rudy Giuliani says we need trial by combat. Trump says your country's going to be gone. They're going to invade your country and kill your daughters and wives. And if you don't stop this somehow, then your entire country's gone and you're going to die. It's existential. We're going to go down to the Capitol and, go. And after 90%, 99% being dedicated to why we need to do this or your whole family's going to die, then he's like, but do it peacefully. That's not very convincing to me. And then also the retroactive pardoning of the cops. And like I said before, if he truly did not want to get violent, if he did not want violence, he would not say the cops are the enemy from that day. He would not say the rioters are the hero. And he would not have pardoned every single person every single person involved. Him doing that tells me he approved 100% of what happened.
Well, yeah, I feel like a lot of what you were mentioning about the Trump's that's just propaganda, which every president has done in some point in some way. exaggerating things so that their party would feature more, or you know,
Is
sorry,
that an exaggeration though? Saying things that are completely made up and then telling everyone it's existential. And this is the first time this ever happened. So this is unique. Like this is very unique, especially in modern American history. Like this is very unique for it to be delayed and the president to lie about the election this thoroughly 4 years later. This is all very unique to Trump alone.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, a lot of the reason that I support Trump is his policies. I won't lie about that. But he's definitely done some questionably moral things.
Well, I'd say that's like coup worthy, or he tried doing a mini coup. I think he tried more of a legal coup, and then it was definitely considered to be like an insurrection. Morally, I don't care about morally. Any leader in any other respective democracy, I don't mean respective, any democracy with any kind of semblance of checks and balances and defense of its system, Trump would be in jail. He would definitely be in jail with corruption charges, with overturning the election. So you can say, Trump did these really bad things, illegal things. It's not moral to me. Moral is when he cheats on his wife and uses campaign contributions to pay a porn star off. I mean, there's some legal things there too, but that'd be moral to me. Or when he says we should just trust that this person's a terrorist because I said so and throw them into prison just because I said so. He's not a good dude. We could say they're terrorists just by looking at him. Like those would be morally bad to me. But the election thing is either delusion, and that would be disqualifying for me, or it's intentional lying, which would also. And you don't need to defend it, by the way. You can literally just say that he is a terrible person, but you think he's going to be better than what Democrats would do.
Yeah, I do think that he would be a better option than Kamala Harris. When I went into the election, I'm 14. I can't vote. When I went into the election, I was like, I really don't like either of these candidates. But Trump is better than Kamala because I am a Catholic conservative, so I believe abortion is wrong, that sort of thing. So I thought I'd prefer Trump over Kamala. But over time, I have started to think that Trump is a patriot and really a good president. Honestly, I just wanted to have a conversation. I get that I really haven't done the best job, but
my only thing with Christianity or Catholicism or whatever religion it might be, I hear claims such as the number one thing people talk about with religion is abortion and being pro-life or pro-choice. I know plenty of religious people who are pro-choice and pro-life for themselves. I know plenty of religious people who are just pro-choice in general up until a certain week or a certain number of weeks, because there's so many things in the Bible that are considered sins that Christians do not care about at all. Then there's some things that are sins, which, or there's things they say are, terrible sins, which they make their number one priority campaign-wise. But there's nothing directly about abortion in the Bible. There is stuff about not being over militaristic, not being pro-war. Jesus on Palm Sunday, showing peace and love in the face of a brutal military, which is the whole point of the palms instead of weapons. And Trump wants to have military parades. Jesus was against that. Trump is a nationalist. He cares about borders over everything. Jesus was against that as well. Nationalism and nations and all these conflicts. My biggest thing is just there's a lot of hypocrisy with it, and also the question I pose to everyone is essentially, if your religion says that we are 100% right, and this is what turned me away from Catholicism or a more ardent or a more strict form of Christianity, if you are to say that you have the 100% correct defined version of the Bible, if you understand it to be the only correct way to do it, in my opinion, that would be you saying you are God, that you are someone who has no ability to make mistakes. If someone believes in their religion enough to say this person should go to jail over my beliefs, or, all these things really concern me, because if you're going to say I have the right one, no one else understands how to worship God, but I do. These Bibles have been through many translations. We don't read the original language it was written in. It was written by people other than Jesus or God, right? So I just think we should be hesitant to do government policy from our religious beliefs. You could use your morals instructed from religion, but I really don't like how some very religious people say, I have the right way to do this. They don't. Therefore, my version should be the law of the land. Does that make any sense
Yeah,
at all?
I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're saying. I mean, obviously, I don't believe in a theocracy. That would not be good.
Mhm.
But I think that it's good to base some of your policies and beliefs off of your religion and build from there, like speaking on logic. For example, as I mentioned, pro-life. I am pro-life because I believe that, soul, Jesus, from the moment you were conceived, I knew you. However, I can logically back that up from a secular perspective in saying that the baby is a human because it has a heartbeat, it has fingerprints from 9 weeks, I think. It's going to become a human, that sort of thing. Of course, I know that we weren't really here for a abortion debate. I don't know if you have the different beliefs from me, but I do think that it's okay to have religion base your argument, but then have logic build on it.
I think it is a good standard to say that you can have moral positions and then back it up with actual reasons. And like for example, the ability for a being to be sentient or to be able to survive away from the mother are two big points, which is why many people say that elective abortion should be until like 20 weeks, or around there. And then for medical abortions, I'd say that any limit on medical abortions is an extreme restriction on women, and that would be a direct cause of death for women. And if you advocate for a full ban on medical abortions, you are advocating for the murder of women. And we have cases where, for example, a doctor in Texas or South Carolina, and the woman's having some type of complication, and a doctor has no way to see if she's like 10% dead, 20% dead, 50% dead, 90% dead. So when a doctor decides to enact procedures upon the woman it might be life-saving or just because things are going the wrong way, doctors are scared to give that care because the state, then the government, can say we disagree that it was necessary medically for saving the mother's life. So many women are forced to go into very like dire positions based on someone else's religious beliefs, and a doctor can't do their job because of these laws. And many doctors are being framed now if there's a miscarriage or another issue, doctors being blamed for it. And the way these laws are written, not only are there women that have died already trying to flee red states because they could not get care there and they bled out or they died from an infection. There's also the story of the 10-year-old girl from Ohio. A 10-year-old girl was assaulted and pregnant, and she found out she was pregnant at 6 weeks and 2 days. And because it was over the 6-week abortion ban in Ohio, she had to leave Ohio and flee the state at 10 years old to get an abortion. So like the 6-week ban, there's nothing secular, in my opinion, to argue for that, or at 10 weeks. The only secular argument, it would start around 15, 20, 25. Somewhere between 15 and 25 weeks are the only secular arguments that I would really accept. But we don't need to talk about abortion. You could just respond to what I said there. We could talk about something else. But that's my overlook on that.
I mean, so my personal opinion is it shouldn't be electively allowed at all. However, medical exceptions should exist for if the mother is in danger, and it's the only option available, so no C-sections, that sort of thing. Then the mother's life should be prioritized over the child's. That's my personal stance on it. It's,
But do you see what I mean
But
when
I
I say like the different interpretations there allow room for the government to be extremely authoritarian? So like if you say, for example, the regulation should be for elective reasons, if a doctor does not say it's medically necessary, then you can have restrictions on elective. But if a doctor does say, in any scenario where a doctor does say this is life-saving or needed, there should not even be any type of legal scrutiny at all, in my opinion. It should not have any laws because those laws can therefore be extorted by that government.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I just, again, my personal belief is that abortion is wrong, which is why I want it to be outlawed. But of course, I see your point. I understand what you're trying. What
Yeah,
you're saying.
it's hard. And but do you think that like women having kids or not? I mean, do you think that we need more babies to be born in America?
I mean, not necessarily.
Okay.
It would be good to have more children. Well, one of my main things is I don't necessarily want more children to be born without families in foster care. That's not a good thing. What I really want is for the culture, especially around Black America, to be more about having strong family bonds, bring the father back into the home, all of that sort of thing.
Well, let me just say off of that. So, by the way, at 14, you sound very intelligent for a 14-year-old. I'm sure the child would
thank
agree.
you.
Even if they disagree with you, you do sound like a very intelligent 14-year-old. Like actually more intelligent than probably 80% of the people that I talk to. Just in the way you have the conversation alone. So on that example, now if I was a social justice warrior, I would call you racist for sure. Okay, I would definitely call you racist if I was SJW, but I'm not. So I'm gonna explain why going right to Black culture is going to be an issue, just because I grew up in like a 99% white area where the people there are dirt poor. So like coal country, old coal mining towns were boom towns. A bunch of people moved in. Someone said, stop debating with a child. Sorry, this child is smarter than you, the welding beaver. Like the child is more intelligent than you are. Like read a book, dumbass. Okay, so I grew up in the middle of nowhere. And this community was, like I said, 99% white, and all the issues present in Black communities were present at a very high level in my white community. And the biggest determination was a lack of opportunity and poverty. And if you test, for example, let's say you put a Black person into a white suburb, which is a white suburb or a white rural area that does decent. Same culture, different area, different socioeconomic background, more money. You'll see the results be very similar. Whereas if you put like a bunch of white people into the same conditions that more Black people are in, and this is all very complicated. These systems were built over slavery, and then we had, Reconstruction after slavery. Then we had, a bunch of different things happen, Jim Crow laws, redlining, a bunch of policies that hurt Black people. And most Americans agree generational wealth does matter. If your grandparents are rich, then you have more money. And Black people are in these communities that are very poor, largely because of these policies by the U.S. government. But if you test for class, then the outcomes are very similar. So I'd just be careful to say, like, okay, especially with the Black community, I would say why not like. I mean, there's a reason why people do things, and if you have other ways to analyze it, there's always better places to go than like just like culture or like there's deeper things there.
Let me clarify what I meant by that. Obviously, I'm not saying that all Black people are growing up without families. That's not what I mean. I do mean that I believe it's 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3 children who are African American are born without a father consistently in the home, which is definitely an issue. I'm not saying that it has anything to do with the race. I'm saying that in the areas that people who are African American live, there tends to be that sort of issue. If you get what I'm trying to say.
This is hard because in America right now, if you bring up the history of racism in America, no one wants to talk about it, and white people think we're attacking them if we talk about like what Black people would go through and why the outcomes are different. But I would also turn to, for example, the median wealth, the median net worth of Black and white families. So in let's see, in 2022, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, there was a survey of consumer finances. The median net worth, and this is like a sort of like a ratio, but so like Black people had a much higher growth rate in their net worth in like 2016 to 2025 than white families did. But still, white families have a median net worth of $285,000 in America, and Black families have a median net worth of $45,000 in America. So it's almost 1/6 of what white families' median or average numbers are, and that's for systemic reasons that date back to the U.S. government saying Black people are not human beings, and then that just got somewhat resolved, or at least like peeled back a little bit in the past like 40 years. And I'd say you look at numbers like that, and then you look at like what culture arises there. Look at the crime rates in like white communities in Alabama, 99% white communities there that are poor. The crime rates in those communities might even be higher than a lot of Black communities that we talk about. But in the white communities, there's people that are spread out. They just get drunk all day. Meanwhile, in a city, you have to like fight for survival. The housing costs are extremely high. There's no jobs. You're living on top of other people. And you know, there's rich people that live around you, so your housing prices go up even more. There's so many situations that change. There's just so many factors here. And and the progressive left will use this term, which they kind of dropped, called intersectionality. And it would basically be like, you have to take into account someone's, if you're going to say this person experiences this because they're white, you have to take into account their gender, their class. So like, if you have a black man who's the son of Michael Jordan, they probably have a better shot at being successful than a white guy born to Jim Bob in the middle of Mississippi. Not to be racist against white people with the name Jim Bob. But like, you would say that, okay, well, the white guy might not be stopped by the police as much, but as the black guy, but the black guy is starting off rich. So if you say that to the white guy, you have white privilege, he might look at you a weird way, right? Because that Michael Jordan's son, the privilege they talk about there is a race privilege, but the white guy might have less privilege when it comes to class or like socioeconomics or where they live, if that makes sense. So I think every conversation needs to encapsulate every single factor. And if we don't do that, we're going to have some type of like conclusion, like have a conclusion that doesn't really match what we need to get to.
All right. Honestly, at this point, I think I should go. I think we've definitely had a pretty good conversation. You know, efficient, I think it's the word I'm looking for. But I do want to close by addressing somebody who's in the chat who is claiming that you're grooming a 14-year-old. That's disgusting. You should never accuse somebody of doing that who isn't. That is a terrible thing, and you should really work on yourself. That's not
roasted.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to me.
Yeah, definitely. If you have a chance to watch for a little bit more, feel free to send me a text message on this number. This is like a fake Google Voice number just from my YouTube channel. So if you have topics to go over, and if you want to prepare something or look into this stuff more and have a future conversation, definitely feel free. But yeah, thank you for the call.
Yeah, I'd love to be back here and talk to you again. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Yeah, thank you. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, have a good night.
No, like actually, thank you so much. Legendary double down. Let me go through donations really quick. Yeah, thank you guys for watching tonight. Thank you for all the likes and subscribes and everything. Sri gifted one Jolah Talks Politics membership. Thank you, Sri, for the one gifted membership. Thank you. $5 donation for the IVF the troll. Thanks for the encouragement. Thank you. I love the ones that go after trolls. World Raves sent a flower for 30 joules. How much is 30 joules? I don't even know what the currency is like on YouTube. 30 joules. Is that a dollar? I don't know what 30 joules are. And World Raves gifted one Jolah Talks Politics membership. Thank you, World Raves again. $5. God Emperor. Hello. How are you doing, man? Thank you for the legendary double down. Dole rolls? Thank you for $20. Thank you, World Raves. Are you new to the channel? I don't think I saw your name before. Thank you, World Raves. Dole rolls? What is that? Dole? Dowel? I don't know what that is. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Thank you. Your show is doing great, bro. Thank you. I'm trying to do decent a little bit. There's more people trying to call. I don't know if I should restart the stream again. Can you call? Yeah, dude. 1 second. Okay. Let me try to restart the stream one more time tonight. One more time, because we peak at, let me see. Around 20 minutes into the stream, we peak at 300 viewers, but this time I did not have a caller, so it went down. So I'm going to restart my YouTube Shorts stream one more time, okay? So hop right back on here. I'll take your calls when I restart it. 1 second. Let me check my phone for any donations you might have sent. I don't know if I missed any on my phone. You could also donate to Jolah Talks Politics. Or not Talks. Donate to Jolah Politics on Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. That's the best place to donate if you just want to donate directly to me. But yeah, thank you so much for all the donations. Thank you for all the memberships and stuff. Thank you. Okay, I'll be back on the YouTube Shorts in 1 second. Take your calls, but I'll direct you to my horizontal screen for a second. I'm restarting it right away. It should appear on my channel in a second. Thank you. See you again in a second. Beaver. Oh God.